Welcome to the California Community College's MyPath College Portal Administration Instructional Tutorial. This tutorial guide is intended for College Portal administrators. Administrators will be able to log in to the MyPath portal and use the Tenant Admin panel to communicate directly with their student population, as well as to configure the look, feel, and content of their college's portal to customize what those students see and experience. There are 4 modules in this series, taking you through the basic configuration and functions of the CCC MyPath portal. In this module, we'll cover how to manage the content in your college or district portal as an administrator. We'll discuss how the portal can contain and display your custom content, and we'll move through some simulations to add content to a portlet, to manage a portlet lifecycle, to add application launchers to your portal, add surveys to your portal, and add advisor cards to your portal. These configurations will allow you to customize the content of your college's CCC MyPath portal and your student users' experience. As we move through demonstrative simulations, remember that you can follow along with the written user guide available for download. Let's get started. The College Portal Administrator manages the content of their college's portal by creating portlets using a variety of built-in portlet tools and then adding them or removing them from specified user groups. This includes static content portlets, application launchers, surveys with smart forms, and advisor cards. Anything that you create or configure to display inside your college portal is considered a portlet. A portlet is basically a container for the thing you want to display. These portlets may be set with specific expiration dates and may be accessible to only specific user groups, all at the administrator's discretion. The first step in managing what content is available on your portal is to create a portlet that contains content. We will begin by creating a portlet and adding some static content. First, we set up the structure of the portlet. Navigate to the Tenant Admin tab, then to the Tenant Portal Administration panel. Then we'll click the Manage Portlets link to display the Portlet Registry screen. Next, we'll click the Register New Portlet button to display the Register New Portlet screen. We'll select either the Advanced CMS or the CMS radio button. The Advanced CMS portlet allows the use of JavaScript and doesn't perform any security scanning. The Simple CMS portlet performs markup scanning to prevent invalid HTML and cross-site scripting vulnerabilities. For this tutorial, we'll select the Simple CMS radio button. Once selected, we'll click the Continue button to display the Summary Information and Control Fields group. Next, we'll edit the value of the portlet title field to create the title for our content portlet. We'll begin by calling this one CCC Test. It's optional to enter a value in the portlet description field to aid in searches. For example, if this content had something to do with the campus library, you could enter the name of the library, the word library, books, computer lab, reference lab, or any other words that you might want search linked to your library. For this activity, we'll leave the description field blank. Next, we select the portlet controls checkboxes that apply to this portlet. We'll select all 4, Has Help, Editable, Configurable, and Has About. We'll click the Advanced Options link to expand and display the portlet options: Read-Only Portlet.xml, Advanced CMS Settings, and Display Settings configuration field groups. You may enter a value in the portlet timeout field if you wish for the portlet to time out after a specific amount of time, 30 seconds for example. The default value is 5,000, and for this exercise, we'll leave that value at 5,000 so that it's unlikely to time out. In the Display Settings field group, click the Chrome Style drop-down list and select No Chrome. An administrator might enter or select values for the remaining display settings parameters fields as needed for their own content. For example, one might enter a URL for a header image if desired. For the purposes of this tutorial, we'll leave the rest of these blank. We'll continue to scroll to view the Principles and Categories section. We'll click the Edit Principles button to display the Select People and Groups screen. We'll click the Add to Selection button for each group that we want to have access to this content portlet. We'll add the CCC Demo College to our list by clicking the Add to Selection button. Then we'll click the Save button to save our changes and return to the Register New Portlet screen. Next, we'll select the categories in which we want the content portlet to be available. Once again, we'll scroll down to the Principles and Categories section and select Edit Categories. This will display the Select Categories screen. We'll add the CCC Demo College Portlets category by clicking the green Add to Selection button. As before, we'll hit Save to save our changes and return to the Register New Portlet screen. Now that we've set up the basic structure of the portlet, selected who may see it and in what categories, we'll register the portlet with the portal for use. On the Register New Portlet screen where we left off, we'll scroll down to the Lifecycle Management field and select the Published Radio button. We'll discuss other lifecycle options later on in this module. Click Save and Configure to save the content portlet and display the Edit Portlet Configuration Content Editor screen. This is where we'll enter and format the content we want to display in the portlet. In the Content Editor screen, we have options to edit the look and format of the content as well as the actual text itself. You'll see familiar options like bold, size, text color, and even the option to insert an image so that you can create a very well customized piece of content. For administrators who would prefer to keep their content fairly uniform without moving through the same customization steps with each portlet, there are also templates available. The template icon is next to the print icon in the upper left corner of the content editor, and you'll see 4 built-in options, including Content Page 1.5, which is a robust template for offering formatting for a lot of content in a single portlet. For this exercise, we'll simply enter Test, then click the Save icon to save the configuration and return to the portlet registry screen with our new content portlet displayed in the list of portlets. A green highlighted message displays at the top of the screen confirming the registered content portlet and includes a Manage DLM Fragments link. Click the Manage DLM Fragments link to open the Fragment Administration screen. The portlet is now available to be added to the College tabs for our student users to access. The lifecycle for any portlet can be defined by the college administrator by selecting the options in the Lifecycle Management and optional Automatic Expiration sections. The administrator controls the status and viewability of any and all portlets for their college. Because portlets are what house our content, it is in this way that we may control what content is available to our users, in what way, and for how long. To control the life cycle of a portlet, we begin by navigating to the Tenant Admin tab, then to the Portal Administration panel, then to the Manage Portlets link that will display the Portlet Registry screen. We'll find the CCC test portlet that we created earlier in this module and click the Edit link on the right side of the screen. This will open the Edit Portlet screen. We'll scroll down to the Lifecycle Management section and click the Option Radio button that corresponds to the selected portlet state, in this case, the published state. If we wanted to set an optional expiration date for the portlet section, we could click the Settings field to display a pop-up calendar. This would give us the option of making the portlet available for only a specific amount of time, for example, a registration or event reminder. For this exercise, we'll select January 1st, 2019 at 12 p.m. for our practice expiration date. At that point in time, our test portlet would automatically be removed from the display in the portal, and its state would revert to the option of expired. In addition to static informational content, an administrator may also choose to set up a portlet to launch an application in a detached window view. In this way, existing systems or applications in use by your college or district may be integrated into the CCC MyPath portal without tedious redirection. To add an app launcher, we'll move through many of the same steps as in creating a static content portlet. First, we'll navigate to the Tenant Admin tab, then to the Tenant Portal Administration panel, and to the Manage Portlets link that will display the Portlet Registry screen. We'll click the Register New Portlet button and select the App Launcher radio button in the Register New Portlet screen. Then, click the Continue button to display the summary information and controls field groups. Edit the value in the Portlet title field to create the title for the app launcher. In this case, we'll use CCC Test App Launcher. We have the option to enter a value in the Portlet description field to aid in portal searches. For this exercise, we'll leave the field blank, but administrators are welcome to use any phrases they feel will help in the search process. We select the Portlet controls checkboxes that apply to our App Launcher portlet. In this case, we'll select all 4 of them. As with creating a static content portlet, next we'll click the Advanced Options link to expand and display the portlet options: read-only portlet.xml preferences, advanced CMS settings, and display settings configuration field groups. We will again leave the default value of 5,000 in the timeout field to allow the user all the time they may need with the app. Next, in the Display Settings field group, we'll click the Chrome Style drop-down list and select No Chrome, and leave the remaining display setting parameters fields blank. We'll continue to scroll down to view the Principles and Categories section and click the Edit Principles button to display the Select People and Groups screen. Again, we'll add the CCC TC Demo College to our list by clicking the Add to Selection button. Then, we'll click the Save button to save our changes and return to the Register New Portlet screen. Next, we'll scroll down to the Principles and Categories section to select the categories in which to make the App Launcher portlet available and select Edit Categories. Add the CCC-TC Demo College Portlets category by clicking the green Add to Selection button. As before, we'll click the Save button to save our changes and return to the Register New Portlet screen. Much like creating a static content portlet, this process creates the App Launcher portlet, which is now ready for us to edit the content and move through the portlet registration process before the student users will have access. Now we can add content to the App Launcher, as we did with the static content portlet. From where we left off on the Register New Portlet screen, we'll scroll down to the Lifecycle Management field group and select the Published radio button. We'll click Save and Configure to save our App Launcher portlet and display the Edit Portlet Configuration screen. In this screen, enter the app URL information, including the https:// at the beginning of the URL. As before, for this exercise, we'll enter www.cccmypath.org. We have the option to click the Advanced URL Options button to display view-only information on Spring EL expressions options. That's a more advanced feature that's not necessary for simple operations like registering an app launcher, so for this exercise we'll skip that step, but administrators may contact the Tech Center for more guidance. Next, from the Display drop-down list, we'll select the option for the App Launcher window to open in the student's web browser. Because we want our students to be able to simply click back to our portal rather than exiting the newly opened app to do so, we'll select New Window. Then we'll choose an icon that will be displayed on the App Launcher portlet. We have the option to upload an icon of our own, or we can click the Available Icons button and select one of those already loaded into the portal. Next, we'll triple-click the link title text to overwrite the default text with our own. In this case, we'll name it CCC Test App Launcher again. While it isn't necessary for these to all match, for the sake of simplicity, we will do the same for the title and subtitle fields. Then, we'll click the Save button to save our configuration and return to the Portlet registry screen where our App Launcher portlet will be displayed in the list of portlets. A green highlighted message displays at the top of the screen confirming your registered content portlet and includes a Manage DLM Fragments link. Click the Manage DLM Fragments link to open the Fragment Administration screen. Our portlet is now available to be added to our college tabs for student users to access. Administrators can also add surveys to the student portal to gather information from the student population. When a survey is created and published, it appears in the student portal below the advisor cards as an option for student participation. To add a survey, we'll first navigate to the Survey Admin tab and click the Add Survey button in the bottom left corner of the page to display a new set of Edit Survey and Preview Survey buttons. We'll click the Edit Survey button to display the title, description, and unique name fields, as well as the Add Question, Save Survey, and Publish Survey buttons. All three of these fields are required. Only after they are populated and a question has been added will the Save Survey button be activated. For this exercise, we'll enter Test Survey in the title, in the description, and in the unique name fields. Then we can add a question to the survey by clicking the Add Question button. We'll click the Open Question 1 button to display the Survey Administration Question field group and enter information for the question and its answer. For our first question in our test survey, we'll simply ask the student user to select their current college year. In the question text, we will write Classman Year. There's an option to enter a value in the Help text field to clarify the question if necessary. This one is simple enough and we'll leave this blank for now. To add answer options, we'll click the Add button as many times as necessary to achieve the number of answers we want to offer. Since there are 4 possible Classman Year options, we'll click Add 4 times. In field number 1, we'll type Freshman. In field number 2, we'll type Sophomore. In field number 3, we'll type Junior. And in field number 4, Senior. We can click the green up and down buttons in the far right to select the order in which the answers are shown for user selection. We'll end our practice survey at 1 question for now and click Save Survey to finish creating it, making it ready to publish at the administrator's discretion. In creating surveys, you also have the option to create more complex functions associated with a user's answers. You can offer them a reactionary comment, or even offer them access to specific advisor cards based on their answers. For example, in our test survey, we can click the Open button next to answer number 1, Freshman. This will open the Survey Administration Answer field group and allow us to enter additional information for the answer. We do have options here to edit the answer text field or help text field, or even to add an image URL to the answer if desired by checking the Show an Image box and completing the corresponding fields. In this example, we want to offer a message to our freshman classmen, so we'll edit the answer text to read, Welcome. This provides a custom message that appears to any user who selects freshman as their classman year in the survey. There's also an option to add an action to the answer field. We'll scroll down the page and select the Add button to the right of Actions. There are 2 options available from the action type drop-down list. Selecting Advisor Command Runner would allow us to configure an advisor card to be added to the student's layout if they selected this answer. A classman-specific advisor card, for example, might be added from the Card to Add drop-down list if desired. Likewise, Drool's Rules command runner would allow us to add a rule to be executed based on a user's response to the survey question. Adding actions to survey answers are a powerful tool in customizing your student user experience. For this test survey, however, we don't need an action, so we'll hit the delete button next to actions. Another available option is to add a follow-up question for a specific user answer. We'll click the Add button on the right of the follow-up question to display the question text field. This configuration process is the same as adding a survey question. The difference is that a follow-up question is a direct result of the user's answer and would not otherwise be displayed. Configuring survey settings like these allow us to create custom branching scenarios and informational options for each individual student user without the necessity of additional individually dedicated administration hours. Once an administrator is satisfied with their questions and answers, it's necessary to publish the survey for student users. In our test survey, we'll click Save Survey to save our most recent changes. Then click Back to Surveys to return to the Surveys portlet. From the Surveys portlet, we'll click the Edit Survey button to preview, edit, or publish our survey. When we click the Publish Survey button, a pop-up dialog box prompts us to confirm publication of the survey. No further changes can be made after it's published, so this would be the last opportunity for edits. We're satisfied with our test survey, so we'll click OK. The survey will now display with the word Published after the title. Once the survey has been completed and published, we must register it by returning to the Tenant Admin tab. Once we're in the Tenant Admin tab, we'll click on the Manage Portlets link. Remember, a survey is just another kind of portlet. We'll click the Register New Portlet button, the Portlet Radio button, and then the Continue button to open the Summary Information screen. We'll select Portlet from the Select Type list, then select Survey Portlet from the second drop-down list. Next, we'll click Continue to display the Summary Information screen. The portlet title and the portlet name field values are auto-populated by default. We can overwrite these default values by triple-clicking or highlighting the existing text and typing in Test Survey in both fields, as well as in the portlet functional name field. Now we'll scroll down and click the Edit Principals and Edit Categories buttons to add groups and categories for the survey, as with other portlets. In the Principals field, we'll add the CCC Demo College to our list by clicking the Add to Selection button, and then click the Save button. In the Categories field, we'll add the CCC Demo College Portlets category by clicking the green Add to Selection button and clicking the Save button. Next, we'll choose the Published Lifecycle Management option and click Save. The survey is now registered and published, but before it's available to students, we'll need to add it to the student view by using the Manage DLM Fragments function. This is the process of adding content to the Student tab, which is discussed in Module 4, Layout Management. Advisor cards are tasks that display in the college portal beneath the background image. If a student clicks on the card itself, the drill-down view is displayed with the details that the administrator entered, along with any tasks. When a student clicks a task title, it expands a task pane, displaying the description, expected duration, and the link. When the task link is clicked, the status updates to completed, and a yellow circle with a check will display next to the task, indicating that the student has completed it. As the tasks on the card are completed, a yellow status bar shows their current state of completion. Administrators have the ability to create these advisor cards. We'll begin again on the Tenant Admin tab and go to the Advisor Card Administration panel. We'll then go to the New Card field group where we can enter a card title with up to 32 characters. For this exercise, we'll enter Register for Classes. It's optional to enter up to 96 characters in the description field that will display as a subtitle on the advisor card. We can also enter up to 255 characters in the why and what fields available here, but for this exercise we'll leave those blank. Check the Shown by Default checkbox to have the advisor card immediately appear in the student user's advisor card portlet. Next, edit the task associated with the advisor card by entering a task title up to 36 characters. For our test class registration card, we'll designate the first task as View Class Catalog. The description field and the link fields are both mandatory. The description field may contain up to 120 characters, and the link field may contain up to 2,000, although the display name will appear simply as the task title. For this exercise, we'll write View Class Catalog in the description field, and in the link field, we'll type CCC MyPath.org. An administrator would of course enter the link to their own class catalog or other relevant location as necessary for these advisor card links. To configure the task, we'll select the Open in New Window checkbox. By having this catalog open in a new window, the user doesn't need to click the back button on their browser to get back to the college portal, allowing them to continue their portal experience while taking care of these administrative tasks on their advisor cards. Then we'll select the Launch from Dashboard checkbox. This ensures that clicking the advisor card task link will take the user directly to the catalog rather than to the advisor card drill-down view, saving them an additional click. The expected duration field is where we would indicate how long we expect this particular task to take the student to complete. We can increase or decrease the time by clicking the increment icon that appears to the right of the field. For our test advisor card, we'll leave this value at its default. We have an option to hide this task from students for the time being by selecting the Disable checkbox. Hiding an advisor card would be useful for a task that's valid only during specific times of the year, for example, as our Register for Classes card is. For the purposes of this exercise, we'll assume that registration is open, and we'll leave that box unchecked. To add more tasks, we would click the green Add button next to the Tasks heading, and like other portlets, we would have the option to arrange the order of the tasks by clicking the green Up and Down buttons. Our Register for Classes card, however, doesn't require any additional tasks, so we'll finish here by clicking the Create button to add the advisor card to the list of existing cards.